A little while ago, the classifieds company and tech investor InfoEdge released a 10-page note recapping its investing journey. Now, the company's founder Sanjeev Bikhchandani quite proudly proclaimed how its two biggest bets, Zomato and Policybazaar, were, in his words, breakout successes, winners, outliers. Now, Bikhchandani's pride is justified to a degree. After all, InfoEdge was an early backer for both these companies that later went on to dominate the realm of food delivery and insurance. But here's the thing. You need to take one glance at Zomato's most recent financials for the 3 months ended March to understand that circumstances have most certainly changed. The grocery and food delivery company's profits plunged almost 80% from the same period last year. And that's largely thanks to the absolute battleground the space has become. Many have thrown their hat in the ring, but very, very few have survived. Those who have, well, they have the scars to show for it. Just take Eternal own Blinkit, for instance. It's managed to rise right to the top of the grocery delivery space, all while making sure no one in the business will be making any money anytime soon, itself included. Even food delivery, which is a profitable venture for Eternal, hasn't really been growing fast enough. Expectedly, after a dream run, the stock is down 12% this year, while the Nifty 50 index is up 6%. Even those Eternal investors who were euphoric about the company's future a year ago are now somewhat circumspect. So, what is InfoEdge doing about it? Well, apart from its own businesses spanning recruitment, real estate, matrimony, and education, it owns roughly 12.5% each of Eternal and PB Fintech, which is the parent of insurance marketplace Policybazaar. It's not sold a single share in either since they started trading. Now, that's quite unusual. But InfoEdge says it has a very simple reason for that. It wants to be strategic and not opportunistic about existing businesses because it sees itself as a long-term investor and not some trader. But the thing is, not everyone is on the same page here. Hello and welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Rahil Philippos and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleagues Tigda Sharma and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of June. Some people in the business, and by that I mean analysts, investors, well, they've said that InfoEdge has too much going on. When my colleague Seetharaman Ji spoke to Piyush Pandey, who's an analyst at Centrum India, which is a brokerage, he said InfoEdge has been working a lot like a mutual fund by investing in so many different companies. Instead, Piyush said it should be focusing on its core business, Naukri, a job listings platform which makes up 3/4 of InfoEdge's revenue, which in the 9 months to December was close to 2,000 crore rupees. For InfoEdge, Eternal and PB Fintech were financial investments. But it has been a backer of these companies longer than any financial investor would typically be comfortable with. Just for context, InfoEdge first put money in PB Fintech in 2008 and then in Zomato 2 years later. Both these bets contribute nearly a third of InfoEdge's market cap, which is about 100,000 crore rupees. That's why it isn't backing off so easily. You see, yes, it has a 90% market share in online recruitment thanks to Naukri. But InfoEdge just about kept pace with the Nifty Next 50 index in the past 5 years, and it's trailing it this year. Then there were some circumstantial concerns, like right after the COVID time surge in digitization, when the IT industry's hiring slowed down. Now, that is half of Naukri's business. But the company still managed to regain some momentum after a rough 2023. This year, most IT majors are planning to hire as many as they did in the last fiscal, so there isn't cause for concern. Yet. Naukri shareholders are worried about another looming dark cloud on the horizon: artificial intelligence. Now, that's going to be the disruptor to end all disruptors when it comes to jobs. And that's something InfoEdge Chief Executive Hitesh Oberoi even acknowledged recently during an earnings call. Small wonder then that InfoEdge has been trying to expand Naukri's geographical footprint to 100 cities in 2 years from the current 67, just in order to persuade more non-IT companies to use its services. But InfoEdge knows it's not going to be a smooth ride throughout. The thing is, it realizes that its platform just isn't as efficient for non-IT hiring as it is for IT jobs. Recruiting for an IT company is easier for two main reasons. The first is centralized hiring, and the second is the fact that IT firms are typically concentrated in cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, or Delhi NCR. So, geographical matching of candidates is much easier than for a bank that's looking to hire across branches throughout the country. The current boom in manufacturing seems ripe for the picking for InfoEdge. If only employers in the sector were big on job portals. Stay tuned. So, what does all of this mean for InfoEdge? Well, its financials don't signal trouble on the horizon. On the contrary, InfoEdge is a bit of an outlier in that sense. Like one analyst pointed out to us, typically in India's equity market, the narrative is often rosy, but then the numbers end up disappointing. Meanwhile, in InfoEdge's case, it is the other way around. But public market valuations often hinge on how investors think a company could fare after 2 to 3 years. And the thing is, they don't think highly of the non-recruitment businesses, which are still loss-making. Brokers like Motilal Oswal and Geojit attribute a mere 3% of InfoEdge's market cap to the education and matchmaking businesses. The one other business that could potentially break out, real estate, classifieds platform 99 acres. But it requires a huge amount of marketing spend. So, InfoEdge's many investments are crucial. But just how far can they go? Well, yes, Zomato and Policybazaar have created a lot of value for the company, but the expectation is that they continue to dominate, grow, and create value in their respective industries. It's a fair expectation. After all, InfoEdge has invested over 720 crore rupees in both companies, and its combined shareholding is now worth over 39,200 crore rupees. But whether that's possible, well, that's a whole other matter. Eternal is now fending off more rivals than ever, both in quick commerce and in food delivery. In fact, a report from the Bank of America in March put it quite simply. It stated that the quick commerce narrative has very quickly moved from higher growth, improving unit economics, to rising losses, high competition market. Now, the thing is, this shift is taking place at a time when risk appetite is reducing significantly. Meanwhile, over at PB Fintech, investors haven't been particularly enthralled for most of its lifetime. The stock flatlined for almost 2 years. And then investors, tired of the wait for profits, stayed away. But then the company's bottom line started taking on a different hue, and they came right back. It's been profitable for 5 straight quarters, and the stock has risen by a third in the past year, even after accounting for the fall since January. But for all that momentum of late, PB Fintech's rise since its listing in November 2021 is roughly the same as that of the index. Even so, investors are warming up to possibilities that arise from PB Fintech's dominant insurance marketplace. So clearly there is a stronger case for InfoEdge pairing its stake in Eternal than in PB Fintech. The worry is that investors could catch on soon enough. Even so, InfoEdge will have to put its own shareholders' interests first.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. Head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the website. Today's episode was hosted by Rahil Philippos and edited by Rajiv CN.